The G7 is not a cinema camera. Any way you want to cut it, any way you want to look at it. Slice it, dice it, romaine it, julienne it, whatever you're talking about it. And yes, I did say romaine it like it was lettuce. No, it's not a cinema camera. Does it have log profiles? No, there are no log profiles within this camera. You know, you think about a cinema camera and you think about a camera that can shoot RAW. Does not shoot RAW. Not capable of shooting RAW. Just not happening. There's no RAW around this. You know, you think of cinema cameras, and, you know, you ache into maybe a model that has IBIS, internal stabilization. Boop! No, not happening. No internal stabilization in this G7. Won't ever have internal stabilization in this G7. I think about cinema cameras, and I think about ones that have ND filters built in. You indeed need ND filters for this camera because there's nothing built into it. ND filters don't come in this type of camera. Maybe in a cinema camera, but not in the G7. And if you think you're going to monitor some audio within the body of this camera, you thought completely wrong. This is not a cinema camera. What this camera is one damn good 4K video camera that you can make your images look cinematic with. And that's fact right there. What's it all about? The image sensor in this Micro Four Thirds. Better than the previous sensors that came before the G7. You're going to get excellent resolution in 4K, 24 frames per second, 30 frames per second. I just use 24. I don't know about you guys. Maybe I'll use 30 in some other applications, but for me, 24 works, and it does what? Looks damn good. This camera allows you to monitor nothing, but you can get your mic in. What? You can get audio into the camera from an external mic source, and that is invaluable. Let it be lavalier. Let it be boomed directly in. Whatever the source is, there's a mic jack for you, and it can do it. This camera has an articulating screen. Oh man, for vloggers it's beautiful. If you're a one-man show trying to do your own shoot, it's great to have. I'm just saying. This camera allows you to Wi-Fi connect to an iOS device, an Android device, a tablet, and remotely view what you're shooting. That's what this camera can do. This camera takes inexpensive batteries in the bottom slot. No problem. Memory card in the bottom slot. Super inexpensive for a 128 right now. And yes, it reads 128 in the G7. That's what this camera can do. If you're entry level into the game, you never used a camera before, you're trying to get into this filmmaking, videography, for hobby, for commercial, you can't go wrong with this camera because it will exceed your expectations visually with what its ability is when you shoot with it. Stills or video. This is what the G7 is made for. For the entry level budget filmmaker, for the seasoned filmmaker that knows its capabilities, this is what this camera is for. It's not a cinema camera, but you can use it for so many things. With a sub price of sub 400 right now, if you're able to find it, and you can if you look hard enough, this camera is definitely something you should add to your arsenal. I have 2 G7s, so I know what I'm talking about. And I've been using this camera since 2016. If you don't have a G7, you might want to get one. This camera gives you lens options out of this world. Because it's a Micro Four Thirds, you can get adapters or speed boosts and use all kinds of lens. I'm not even going to go through a list, but just let me let you know, all kinds with the adapter. And it does crazy things as far as improving your dynamic range, adding stops of light when you use those adapters. This is what this camera's good at. It's not a cinema camera, but it can be your best friend in your arsenal, in your toolkit. Hey, Hope you like this video. Please like, please subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can keep abreast of all new videos dropping on this channel. Until next time, let's go.